guys remember this, right? There was the game that the Eagles had way back when, where it was Jeremiah Trotter who got thrown out of a game before the game even happened. I want to say it was against the Atlanta Hawks, or not, against the Atlanta Falcons. I don't remember the year. Somebody can let me know in the comments. I don't remember. I didn't look it up. But there was a game where Jeremiah Trotter got thrown out pregame. It was a kerfuffle, a scuffle at like midfield. And you go, oh shit, we lost one of our best defensive players before the game had even begun. And for some reason, that flashed across my mind before the game even started. And so then, Chris Freed, thank you, 2005. I don't know what it was that made that go across my brain, but it did. And then we watch what happens. We watch Jalen Carter get into it with Dak Prescott before the first actual snap of the game. Now, the kickoff happens. The Eagles lose a player to an apparent knee injury, right? And while the teams are kind of huddled up, you see Jalen Carter walk over to the offensive huddle, and no one knows what's going on. There's a flag that gets thrown. You go, oh, maybe it was a dirty hit that took out this Eagles player, and maybe something was coming of it. Or maybe the Eagles retaliated because of the hit that led to an injured player. And then you find out, no, Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott. You go, that kind of seems shitty, right? Like, not great. Like, not a great look. No one likes to be spat upon. We all learn at a very early age, you just don't spit on somebody. Seems like a pretty stupid thing to do, right? Right. Seems like a pretty classless thing to do, right? Right. And then you take a look on Twitter and people are like, well, that was a really selfish play. And that's honestly how I felt. I was like, that's selfish. It's stupid. It's immature. It makes no sense. And I was trying to figure out, well, all right, well, why the hell did it happen? Like, what actually led to Jalen Carter spitting on Dak Prescott? Because you have to think, if you're going to spit on another human being, something typically has to provoke you, right? Like, or at least that would be your hope. All right, if you're going to watch a human being spit on another person, something typically has to provoke it. I want to imagine that we don't live in a world where this is normal, right? Here we go. Boom! And we're going to watch that again. Boom! I have to imagine that we live in a world, as messed up as it may be, where like we don't actively like to spit on each other. Okay. So then I said to myself, okay, what happened? Like, what did Dak Prescott say? Now, this is like a little bit after the fact, after I allowed it to process, and I realized, oh shit, Jalen Carter, that's not just going to be like unsportsmanlike. Like, they might kick him out, and then they did. And you watch Jalen Carter leave the field, and there's like no emotion to it, which felt kind of weird, right? A little bit sociopathic for a second. And I'm like, he's not a sociopathic, but okay. But he's not worked up. He doesn't look angry. He almost looks like he's in disbelief. And then Kyle Brandt from the NFL Network tweets out that he was down in the tunnel right where Jalen Carter walked by, and he said that Jalen Carter was showing no emotion. He left the field. And I was like, the whole thing is weird. But then, in the midst of, and we kind of fast forward here a little bit, because SpitGate is the thing that you have to kind of unpack in all of this, unfortunately. Later on, during the hour-long weather delay, the lightning delay, it comes out that, you know what, Dak Prescott actually spit at Jalen Carter first. Now, we have mics everywhere, right? There are absolutely microphones that picked up whatever was being said between Dak Prescott and Jalen Carter. Now, they didn't go to those mics. You have the sky cam going over top. We all know that there are field-level mics. And you go, all right, somebody should know what was said. Somebody should know what was done. What led to Jalen Carter going to spit? And for those of you who somehow, if there are any of you who somehow at this point missed this video, we're going to show you really quick. This is what it looked like. This was Dak Prescott, and this video didn't get released until that like hour-long weather delay with like 4+ minutes left in the third quarter. So here's Dak Prescott. We're gonna bring up the telestrator here. Dak Prescott, man, I'm telling you, man, he's got a visor. You know, it's actually kind of smart. If you're going to spit at somebody and you run the risk of having spit come back your way, smart to have a visor. Dak Prescott doing some 3 or maybe even 4D chess on this one. All right, so he's got his visor on. I want you to watch what happens here. This is boom. All right, so you got some spit. So let's go back. Now, we saw what Jalen Carter's was, man. Like, it was very close to like Bret Hart on Vince McMahon after the Montreal screw job. Like, it was a loogie-ish looking thing. But here's Dak Prescott, and then here's the spit. He goes, pew. It's kind of a weak It's actually a very weak spit right there. Now, where does he spit? He has two of his own players in front of him, right? He has two linemen standing in front of him. Seems like not a great place to spit. And then what you see is he makes eye contact. Now, there was some kind of jawing back and forth. Now, this is where I actually said, oh, fuck that. This is where it happened. The spit happens. Clearly, there was an initiation. Clearly, there was a back and forth between Jalen Carter and Dak Prescott. But you get the spit here from Dak Prescott. Jalen Carter reacts. And then you get this. You get the nod. And then you get, I mean, if you watch AEW and you know Ricochet, that, aha, it was that. Like, look at this face. Look at this face right here. And tell me this isn't somebody who's trying to provoke Jalen Carter. Now, again, it doesn't forgive Jalen Carter. It was a dumbass thing to do. Spitting on another dude. Pretty dumbass thing to do. But Dak Prescott spit in his general direction. And then we get the smiles going. Oh, what's so funny, giggly bits? And then Jalen Carter, stupid. You don't spit on the guy. Now, if Jalen Carter had perhaps spat on the ground in front of Dak Prescott, I don't think we're talking about an ejection. I don't think we're talking about SpitGate. I think we're just talking about a really stupid thing. Not a great look. And the interesting thing is, after the fact, Jalen Carter gets asked about it. And he gets asked about it. And I have to tell you, I wasn't disappointed with the answer. I thought the answer was actually okay. He met with the media after the game. He kind of dove into, what happened, but he didn't go into a ton of detail, which, again, I'm not even sure he needed to. I don't know if he needed to, rat out Dak Prescott for what was said, what was done. But he did go meet with the media, and Dak Prescott also met with the media. So I'm going to present to you both sides of SpitGate, because, again, that is really what we're here to break down somehow. But I want you to hear at least part of what Jalen Carter had to say for himself. And then I'm going to go out to the comments, and you guys can let me know if we should forgive Jalen Carter at all, or if we should do what some people on the radio have been saying today, which is, I got to suspend him. Got to suspend Jalen Carter now. All right, let's go out here to Jalen Carter. This is post-game, talking about what happened with Dak Prescott.
It was a mistake that happened on my side, and it just won't happen again. I feel bad for just my teammates and fans out there. I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for my family also. But fans, they show the most love. You heard them out there today. Just not being able to finish the start game, even finish the game, it's bumped me up. But we'll get it better. It won't happen again. Yeah,
So let's just start with that piece. He's taking accountability. Now, mind you, he got thrown out before the first snap of the game. He's had to sit in the locker room the entire game. Somebody from PR, maybe even Big Dom, probably talked to him and said, you fucked up. You got to make this right. So I think this is genuine. I saw some people speculating online, oh, this is just PR training. I think there's some genuine, he knows he screwed up. Kind of hard not to know that he screwed up, right? Then your teammates come back into the locker room at halftime, and you have that elongated weather break. I'm pretty sure he knows he screwed up. By the way, Jalen Hurts said after the game that he talked to Jalen Carter and that they're on the same page. Okay, let's keep going.
Give him some room. Hey, let's give him a little bit of room.
There's some footage later that shows that Dak may have done something first. Do you feel like he...
This is a good question. I think that was Paul Jolowitz asking or saying there's some video out there that it showed Dak might have done something first.
I don't try to do nothing out of the ordinary. Anything that I feel like I have done something back is provoked. But
so he kind of gives you that idea that if he's done something like that, he feels like he was provoked.
If it's something out there, y'all see it, we'll go back.
Now, there is a longer version of that clip going around. And in it, he doesn't make an excuse for himself. He doesn't say, oh yeah, Dak Prescott said something to me. I saw somebody speculating Dak Prescott made a comment about the pretty well-known thing that happened with Jalen Carter in college with the racing and the death of a teammate. Certainly hope that's not true. Certainly hope that lip reading is not true, because if it is, that's a pretty shitty thing to use as trash talking fodder if you're Dak Prescott. Again, has not been confirmed, but not ideal. You can find it on Twitter if you want to find it. So you have Jalen Carter. He says all that. Now, I tend to think there was some kind of goading into it, right? And there is a video somewhere from high up in the stadium where it shows that Jalen Carter covers a decent bit of ground walking over to then go spit on Dak Prescott. But what was interesting is that Dak Prescott meets with the media, And I want you to just compare really quick tonally, whether you're an Eagles fan, a Cowboys fan, neither. I just want you to listen to the tonal difference between what you heard from Jalen Carter and what you hear from Dak Prescott. And then I want you to just kind of give it the smell test and decide, does this feel real? Does this feel right? Who do you side with? All right, let's go out to Dak Prescott.
Trolling, I guess you could say, trying to mess with Tyler Booker. I was just looking at him. I was right here by the two linemen, and guess I needed to spit, and I wasn't going to spit on my lineman. I just spit ahead, but I'd say he was back there where Jory was in that sense, and he asked, or he goes, "You trying to spit on me?" At that point, I mean, I felt like he was insulting me. Like I wouldn't spit on somebody. I'm damn sure not trying to spit on you. Like we're about to play a game. I'm wondering why you're trying to mess with the rookie. And so when I stepped through, I actually said the words like, "What the hell would I?" Excuse me, but I'm probably even more colorful. What would I need to?
Excuse me, I said hell. I said hell. I don't want to offend y'all. I don't want to offend y'all in here in the media room or y'all watching at home. Sorry.
Spit on you for it. And he just spit on me in that moment, and it was more of a surprise than anything. Refs obviously saw it through the flag. I was like, hell yeah, we get 15 yards to start the game off. Didn't realize he was getting ejected. Unfortunate that he did. Hell of a player.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that Dak Prescott was torn up that Jalen Carter got thrown out of the game. But I want to go back to what he said because I think it's kind of important. So he says that Jalen Carter asked him, "Were you trying to spit on me?" And Dak Prescott was beside himself. "Oh, why would I spit on you? Why would I do such a thing? Why would I spit on you intentionally? Why would I do that?" And that he was actually offended that Jalen Carter would even make the assertion. I just want to go back to the video, okay? Because, again, we here at the Russ Joy Show are objective. Okay. So Dak Prescott says that he said, "Why the hell would I spit on you?" Okay. Here's Dak Prescott. Here's the spit. Now, mind you, this is slow motion. 13-second clip. All right, let's see. Does he say, "Why the hell would I spit on you"? Let's read lips. All right, we got the head nod back. Ha-ha! Does that, just out of curiosity, does that line up with what Dak Prescott just said? Because mind you, there's not a lot of time between the spitting and what he claims was him saying, "Why the hell would I spit on you?" Or using, quote, "more colorful language," end quote. Okay, follow it again one more time. Here we go. We got the spit. Do you see him say, "Why the hell would I spit on you"? Nope. I see the head nod and the aha. Okay. And then you get the spit from Jalen Carter. I don't buy it. I don't. This isn't because this is a Philadelphia-centric show. This is because I just genuinely don't believe that.